Well, I look at the box score after the game, and it was clearly two very even teams. Total yards, rushing, penalties, time of possession, fourth down efficiency, first downs. These were two very even teams with two A-plus quarterbacks. But here is where I continue to see a difference, and boy, did I see it yesterday. Kansas City is liberated by pressure. They're more aggressive. They're more free. They're more aggressive. Patrick Mahomes averages 4 rushes a game in the regular season. Yesterday, he had 11. Mahomes runs more often, runs more aggressively. A season high in carries. Does it make any sense that Kansas City scored over 30 points for the first time all season? Where's Sean McDermott, the defensive wizard, as a head coach? In big games, Spags, the defensive coordinator, takes bigger risks. Andy Reid in the big games has us all guessing even more than usual with his clever play design and play calling. It's like Mahomes is allowed to finally be free. Like when our parents every summer for a couple of days would say, no curfew tonight. Just be safe. Your friends are in town. That's what Mahomes plays like. They are liberated by the pressure. It's a blessing. They love it. Take bigger swings and risks. It's almost as if Kansas City is bored by the tedium of the regular season. And the playoffs is an opportunity to show you the entire playbook because they know they get 2 weeks off for the next game. And yet Buffalo, to at least some degree, once again against the Chiefs, feels a little burdened by the pressure, a little tight. They change who they are, a little like Baltimore does against Mahomes. I mean, Tony Romo on that first drive, Josh Allen almost had 2 interceptions. Romo admitted on the air, that was nerves. In the second half, Buffalo, a high-powered offense, ran 16 of the first 17 plays. Would Andy Reid ever do that with Josh Allen? On fourth down, apparently offensive coordinator Joe Brady only has a single play in his playbook, despite having an excellent star running back in James Cook, having an excellent backup running back in Davis. Joe Brady decided our only play on fourth down is to hand it to our 6'7" quarterback and have him leap into the air, which is always a vulnerable spot for a tall player. The Chiefs expand in the playoffs. They expand. And the Bills feel like, to some degree, they contract. The Chiefs rise to the moment. And Buffalo, at least situationally, feels like they shrink. Again, the box score has 2 excellent teams. But on the biggest defensive play, Spags had a corner blitz. And on those big fourth down tush pushes where Buffalo was 2 for 5, Jim Nantz acknowledged that Kansas City had told them in a production meeting, yeah, he likes to run left. One team on the biggest plays was a bit predictable, even more than a bit. Josh Allen, fourth down, again. James Cook on that final Buffalo drive never touched the ball. And if Buffalo, I know it's the refs, right? It's such a tired act. I heard that for 20 years on the Patriots dynasty. Yes, the league wanted jammed up in the Northeast New England to dominate the league. And now small market Kansas City, please have them dominate all the games. Remember, pre-Taylor Swift, they had Super Bowls, right? So if Buffalo doesn't recover all 4 of their fumbles, I wonder if it's close. They've had the lead in all 4 games against Kansas City in the playoffs. And yet here's Mahomes, and I noticed this yesterday. It reminded me of Tiger Woods and MJ. He's got that red on in a big Sunday game. And Mahomes, as great as he is, elevates and expands in these games. And Josh Allen and the Bills and Sean McDermott, they just shrink a little. 17 straight one-possession wins. You think it's the Zebras? Sean McDermott's supposed to be a defensive mastermind. Why does Kansas City score over 30 points for the first time all season? They didn't look like that last week against DeMeco Ryans. They struggled to move the ball last week against Houston. Why? Because to my initial point, in these big games, MJ, Tiger on a Sunday, Mahomes yesterday, they get to show off. There's no curfew. Do what you have to do. There's no tomorrow. They scored their most points. Mahomes had his season high in carries from the first organized and efficient and lethal drive of the game until the last. They were a better team on the biggest plays. First drive for Buffalo, aimless. Last drives, Dalton Kincaid drops a ball. James Cook never touches it. Why not? Because I know the why, and I know the what, and that's always Kansas City in these moments being the best version of themselves. And all year long, I said Buffalo's the best team. But if you shrink 6, 8, 9, 12%, you're not going to Arrowhead and winning. So I will say this, as I was watching Philadelphia beat Washington, my first take was Kansas City matches up pretty well with Philadelphia. Buffalo does not. So heartbreak was going to happen yesterday or Super Bowl. Buffalo, be thankful because you're not stopping this run game. Let's be honest about Washington. What we saw is what we all thought could happen. Washington ran out of juice. They were missing their best O-line and D linemen, and they have elite talent everywhere. I mean, you forget that Devontae Smith is on the team for Philadelphia, a Heisman winner at receiver. You're like, they have to engineer plays, jet sweeps to get him the ball. He'd be a number one receiver on a third to a half of the teams in the NFL. You forget he's on the team. Their third-string running back peels off a big win. The Eagles feel like one of those Bama, Georgia teams that just had more five-star athletes. I mean, they've run for 200-plus yards in all their playoff wins. Doesn't that sound sort of like a dominant college team? The first two drives of the game told the story. Washington had that Notre Dame feel. 18 plays, and they settled for a field goal. Philadelphia's like, yeah, that was cool. First play, Eagles, Saquon Barkley, 60 yards. Momentum completely and absolutely erased. We all kind of knew yesterday it was really possible. Philadelphia's better. They are a green wall of talent. In fact, I'm trying to think of a team in the last 8 to 10 years that has as much talent as Philadelphia. Elite players, 4 on the offensive line, 1 or 2 at wide receiver, 1 at tight end. I mean, we don't even like their coach, and we don't think their quarterback's top 5 or 6, and they're still double-digit leads on Washington, on the Rams, on the Packers. Washington was down 2 valuable linemen. They've got 2 great players, Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, and they're going to be back in this game multiple times in the next 10 years. But Philadelphia is so well constructed that at the 2 key positions in pro football, quarterback and coach, we've got our doubts, and they still bulldoze people. Double-digit leads, double-digit wins, it's what they do. Jaden Daniels is going to be in this puppy a lot over the next 10 years. That's not even a doubt. They got cap space. They need 1 to 2 more drafts, but it's not time for Washington. Not time at all. Philadelphia has more talent. Kansas City has a decided advantage at quarterback and head coach in the Super Bowl. I like the Chiefs. I doubted them Friday. Had Buffalo winning 28-27. My bad. Say it out loud. Bills, Chiefs, McDermott, Reed at Arrowhead. I was on the wrong side for at least one of the games.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.